Short. Strong. Espresso English.
Fuel your day. Let's learn.
You know that moment when everyone's laughing on the couch and you're standing there with a drink, wondering if you should join in? Or just stay safe and watch?
Oh, absolutely. And the weird part is the room can feel fun and awkward at the same time. Like you're invited, but your brain still wants permit.
Exactly. And if the game starts fast, or the crowd already knows the rules, you can end up sitting on the sidelines and smiling like, yep, I'm having a great time, while secretly panicking.
I've done that at a board game night. Everyone else was moving like pros, and I was still reading page 2. Very cool. Very athletic behavior.
That's so real. And this episode is for anyone who's ever felt that tiny tug between I want to watch and I want to be part of it. If that's you, you're in the right place.
This is a B1 level episode, perfect for intermediate learners. Beginners, you're welcome too. Just listen for the idea first, then the word.
And here's the big question. When do you actually feel better? When you're observing or when you're fully involved? Because sometimes watching feels calm, and sometimes joining feels like the only way to wake up the night.
Quick question. Are you Team A, watch first? Or Team B, dive in? Pick one in your head right now. No pressure, no speech, just a tiny decision.
And there's more here than just personality. In groups, some people break the ice fast, and others need a minute before they relax. That little difference can change the whole vibe.
Right. And later we'll talk about why that happens. Because once the energy clicks, people often get into the groove in a way that surprises them.
Stay until the end for our Word Tour 5 expressions that'll help you talk about watching, joining, and the exact moment you decide to move from the edge into the action.
And maybe, just maybe, you'll realize you don't need to be the loudest person in the room. But you also don't need to remain the silent observer forever. Let me start with a story that might sound familiar. Last weekend, I went to a friend's house where they were watching a big soccer match. Everyone was buzzing, cheering, shouting, high-fiving. I, on the other hand, quietly took a spot on the couch, holding a drink, kind of sitting on the sidelines while they had the real fun.
Oh, I know that feeling. So were you enjoying just watching? Or wishing you could jump in but feeling too nervous?
Honestly, it was a bit of both. The group was loud and hyper-focused. I didn't want to slow things down or mess up the flow. So, I stayed back. But inside, I was sweating a little, kind of freezing in place.
That's exactly it. That freezing and the sweating happen when your brain juggles wanting to join but fearing awkwardness or failure. It's why some people prefer to sit on the sidelines. They feel safer observing than risking mistakes.
Right? And it isn't just about confidence. It's partly about what psychologists call the bystander effect, when people are in a group but feel less pressure to act because someone else might do it instead.
That's a great point. It means you might stay quiet thinking, someone else will take the mic, or I'll wait my turn, but no one jumps in quickly enough. That hesitation can actually slow down the fun for everyone.
And that's where it gets tricky. Because if everyone waits, the moment feels awkward. But if one person breaks the ice, maybe by cracking a joke or jumping into the game, it shifts the whole energy.
I've seen that happen so many times at parties. Someone who isn't shy just goes for it, and suddenly everyone else relaxes and follows. That's when people start to really get into the groove of having fun.
Okay, quick role play time. Imagine this. You're at a karaoke night and the group is all singing. The host says your turn and you hesitate. What would you say to join in?
Hold on, James. That hesitation is super common, but the way you answer can make or break the moment.
Oh? How?
Well, if you just say, I don't know the songs, or I'm shy, it's like sitting on the sidelines again. Instead, try saying something like, I'll give it a shot, or let me jump in for one song. That shows willingness, but keeps it light. Here are 2 native ways to say it casually.
Okay, I'll try. I'll jump in for one song, no pressure. Sounds natural.
Perfect. See, that little phrase makes joining feel easier and more fun.
That helps a lot, because often the hardest part is just crossing the line from watching to acting.
Absolutely. And that's where the concept of social facilitation comes in. It means that some people actually perform better with others watching. They get energized and thrive on the attention.
But for others, being watched induces anxiety, so they freeze or pull back. It's like your brain sending mixed signals about what to do.
Right? And neither is wrong. It's just about recognizing which side you lean toward right now. Do you want to recharge by watching or get energized by participating?
So the question becomes, when you're at the edge of a group or a party, how do you decide whether to join in or stay on the sidelines?
A good way to start is by giving yourself permission to do something low pressure. You don't have to commit to the whole game or stay for the entire performance. Just pick a small step.
Like saying, I'll try one round of the board game, or I'll sing one song, or I'll cheer for 5 minutes. That way you can always step back if it's not your vibe.
And that's the key, no pressure to be all in. Just find your balance and switch between watching and playing when it feels right.
Honestly, sometimes just knowing you have an out makes it easier to jump in at all. The freedom to step back means you're less likely to stay frozen.
And remember, being part of the fun isn't always about being loud or center stage. Sometimes the most fun comes from joining quietly but fully feeling connected without needing to steal attention.
Exactly. And if you notice someone else is hesitating, maybe you can give them a little nudge or invite. Sometimes a simple, come on, just try it, can help them break the ice.
That's a great point, because sometimes people just need a tiny push to get into the groove and enjoy the moment.
So, whether you're the quiet watcher or the eager participant, the balance between the two is what makes social moments rich and fun.
And by the way, there is a phrase for this whole dance, this push and pull between sitting out and joining in. It's called the social facilitation effect. We'll break it down a bit more later on. I still think watching is underrated. Sometimes sit on the sidelines and you get the best seat in the room. No stress, no pressure, and you still feel the energy.
I have to disagree. If you stay back too long, you're not really part of the experience. You're just near it. That's not the same thing.
But that's missing the whole picture. For a lot of people, the point isn't to perform. It's to feel comfortable enough to enjoy the moment without forcing anything.
I get that, but if you never join in, you can end up watching life like it's happening behind glass. You might laugh, sure, but you're not touching the rhythm of it.
Hold on. That sounds romantic, but real life is messier. Sometimes joining too fast makes people tense, self-conscious, or even embarrassed. I'd rather see someone settle in first than rush in and hate the whole night.
Sure, but that's exactly why a tiny first step matters. If you wait for perfect comfort, you may never move. A low-pressure invite can break the ice and make the whole room less intimidating.
Maybe, but not every room needs ice breaking. Some people are observing, processing, and deciding. They're not broken because they're quiet. They're just different.
True, but there's a difference between choosing to observe and hiding because you're scared. That's where I think people miss the point. If you always stay in observer mode, you might never get into the groove of the event at all.
I don't buy that as a rule. Plenty of people only warm up after they watch for a while. They're not missing the groove. They're finding their way into it at their own pace.
But what if the pace is so slow that the moment passes? At a party, a concert, or a game night, timing matters. If you wait too long, the group energy moves on without you.
That's fair, but you're assuming there's one right speed. There isn't. Some people need a minute to breathe, to read the room, to decide if they actually want to jump in. Forcing them can backfire.
I'm not saying force, I'm saying challenge the fear. When you jump in, even imperfectly, you learn faster. You stop making the moment bigger in your head than it really is.
And I'm saying that jumping can sound easy when you're not the one feeling watched. For someone nervous, a sudden push can feel like being shoved onto a stage with no script.
Okay, but then how do you ever get past that first wall? If you always choose comfort, you might never discover that the thing you feared was actually fun.
You're treating comfort like a weakness, and that's where I disagree most. Comfort can be a strategy. It can be how someone protects their energy before they're ready to engage.
Fair, but there's also a difference between protection and hiding. If you're always protecting yourself, you may start to think the sidelines are your only home.
And there's a difference between hiding and pacing. You're missing the point if you assume every quiet person is avoiding life. Sometimes they're watching carefully so they can enter at the right moment.
That's a stronger point than "I'm just shy." I'll give you that. Still, once the host says, "Come on, you're up," a simple yes can change the whole night.
Yes, but the yes works best when it's voluntary. If it's too sudden, people freeze. Their face changes, their shoulders tighten, and the whole room can feel that tension.
So maybe the real issue isn't watch versus join. Maybe it's whether the invitation respects the person's rhythm.
Exactly. If someone can choose to join in without shame, they're more likely to stay present. If they can also choose to step back, they're less likely to panic.
Now that's the sweet spot. Not always watch and not always perform. Just enough flexibility to move when the moment feels right.
And that flexibility is what helps people break the ice naturally. No forced joke, no fake confidence, just one honest opening.
Still, I'll defend the bold side. When someone jumps in, they often inspire the whole group. One brave move can wake everyone up.
And I'll defend the quiet side. When someone stays on the edge a little longer, they often understand the group better and enter with more ease. That's not passive. That's preparation.
So we're not really arguing about fun. We're arguing about timing, permission, and how people find confidence.
Exactly, and that's why both sides matter. Sometimes you need the sidelines. Sometimes you need the leap. The trick is knowing which one fits the moment.
And maybe the smartest move is not choosing forever. It's choosing this moment, then adjusting when the vibe changes.
That's a much better answer than just be extroverted. Not everyone needs to be louder. They just need a way in.
Right. And once they're in, they might finally get into the groove and realize the room wasn't nearly as scary as it looked.
So we've got the big picture now. Some people feel safest watching, and some people feel alive when they join in.
Right. And the real question isn't which side is better. It's when each one fits the moment.
Exactly, and a few phrases kept showing up in our story words for staying back, easing in, and finally getting involved.
So now it's time to pull those phrases apart and make them easy to use.
So let's go back to that living room scene. The one where everyone's laughing, and you're wondering whether to stay quiet or join in.
Right. And the key feeling is that tiny pause before you move. Join in means you become part of the activity, not just the audience.
Exactly. You can join in a game, a chant, a conversation, even a silly dance at a wedding. It's active participation, not passive watching.
And it can be small. You don't have to suddenly become the loudest person in the room. A simple, "I'll join in for one round," already works.
That's important because some learners think joining means total commitment. It doesn't. It can be light, brief, and low pressure.
Like trying karaoke once and surviving with your dignity only slightly damaged.
That's one way to remember it. Now, if you're sitting on the sidelines, the picture changes. You're still there, but you're not really taking part.
Yes, and the phrase carries a certain distance. Sit on the sidelines is often used when someone is present but not active, like watching a match without playing.
It can also be emotional, not just physical. Someone might sit on the sidelines in a conversation if they never speak up, even though they're in the room.
Or at work, if a team is debating an idea and one person stays silent the whole time, they're sitting on the sidelines of the discussion.
And that can be a choice, a habit, or just a moment of nerves. The phrase itself doesn't blame anyone. It just describes that edge of the action feeling.
Which is why the next phrase matters so much. Sometimes you need one tiny opening to break the ice.
Yes, and people use that phrase when the mood is stiff, awkward, or too formal. To break the ice means to do or say something that makes everyone relaxed.
It could be a joke, a question, or even a game. At a party, someone might ask, "What's your most useless talent?" And suddenly the room wakes up.
That's a great example. It's not about being brilliant. It's about lowering the tension so people feel safe enough to speak.
And once the ice is broken, people often start to get into the groove.
That phrase is lovely because it sounds exactly like the feeling. Get into the groove means you settle into a rhythm and start doing something smoothly and comfortably.
Like the first 10 minutes of a board game when everyone's clumsy and asking questions, and then, all of a sudden, the flow appears.
Or in a conversation, when you're awkward at first. Then you find your rhythm and the words come more easily. You're no longer fighting the moment. You're inside it.
I've also heard it for workouts, cooking, even public speaking. Once you're warmed up, you're in the groove and things stop feeling so forced.
Right, and that warm-up matters. It gives your brain time to stop panicking and start cooperating.
And then there's the bolder move, jump in.
That one has energy. To jump in means to enter quickly and decisively, often without overthinking.
Yes, and it's stronger than just joining. If you jump in, you're not hovering at the edge. You're moving right into the action.
You might jump in during a group project, a discussion, or a game when you're finally ready to stop hesitating.
It's also great when someone says, "Anyone want to take the next turn?" And you go, "I'll jump in." Short, confident, no drama.
So all 5 phrases live on the same little map. Join in is participation, sit on the sidelines is staying outside the action, break the ice is easing tension, get into the groove is finding your rhythm, and jump in is entering quickly.
And the beautiful part is that real life often moves between them. You might sit on the sidelines for 2 minutes, break the ice with one joke, get into the groove after a while, and then jump in completely.
Exactly. And that's why these phrases feel so natural together. They describe the same social journey from outside to inside.
And if you remember just one thing, remember this: you don't need to force yourself into every moment. You just need the right phrase for the moment you're in.
So, to wrap up today's episode, we explored the tricky choice between staying quiet and stepping forward to sit on the sidelines or to join in. We saw how it's not just about personality, but about timing, comfort, and knowing when to break the ice or jump in.
Exactly. And if you're wondering how to apply this in real life, here are some simple steps. First, start small. Give yourself permission to join for just a few minutes. That low-key approach takes the pressure off.
And second, notice your own rhythm. Are you feeling more like watching today or ready to take part? Either way is fine, as long as you respect your mood and energy.
Third, watch for signs to get into the groove, whether it's laughter picking up, a topic flowing, or others inviting you. That's your green light to stay and enjoy the moment fully.
I remember a few months ago at a music festival, I was nervous to sing along during a group performance, but I told myself, just jump in for this one song. And once I did, everything felt lighter. That small step changed the whole night.
Personal stories like that show it's okay to start imperfectly. The important thing is that you start. Everyone's social journey moves between watching and playing.
So don't worry if sometimes you're the observer and other times the participant. Just be open to shifting when it feels right for you.
Next time you're at a party or game night, try giving yourself that permission to sit back, break the ice, or jump in. Find your own balance without pressure or judgment.
And in upcoming episodes, we'll explore more about reading social cues and building confidence in new groups. There's so much to discover about how we connect.
Thanks for spending this time with us. Remember, whether you're watching or playing, you belong in the moment.
Before you go, we want to hear from you. What's one social situation where you'd like to feel more comfortable joining in?
We read every single comment. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.